it if I were to get that camera directly into it. Yeah, that pipe's crushed. Because see, in this neck of the woods, they use that thin wall SDR Class 2000 pipe, and it's, even when it's brand new, brother, you could take it and just go like this.
Oh, really?
And then they bury it, you know, because your SDR pipe has a bury depth. Each class has a different bury depth.
Mm-hmm.
And when they took that thin wall class and they bury it like that, man, the weight of the soil, you know, if you had roots starting to grow in. I'm recording it to you
okay.
on a thumb drive, and I'll have the girl in the office email it to you guys.
Okay.
Now we got to play a mean-ass game of hide and seek. See where this spot's at. But yeah, that'll definitely get you tied up for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if the guy at the bench was able to even get through, or if he got through.
I couldn't get through it. He probably just got it to the same spot I was, and it relieved itself. So, I mean, if it was completely snapped off, the water wouldn't open. You wouldn't be able to get any relief off that at all. So there's got to be a spot where that water's finding it and finding the other side of the pipe and being able to drain down into it.
He's putting the toilet paper and stuff down there. It'll clog it up real quick.
Yeah. Is there a gate on either side, sir?
My dog's back there.
That was going to be my next question.
She's fine, but I'll go through the top side.
there. See where that gets me.
We are something. Explanation. I don't know what I did to piss off the gods, but he has decided to fuck us over for 2022. Get your ass up there. Yeah, dog.
So there's a manhole lines up with your backyard about 10 feet on the other side. What would be your neighbor's fence? It's across the street,
Real.
up next to a tree. Because I was looking and I'm like, it's a manhole. I'm like, it should be here. Usually they're on what would be right at the end of that fence line. And then even if it did go across the street, they'd just put another manhole right there. But they didn't. So it's about 10 or 11 feet, which means that if it's holding square, your neighbor's detached garage thingamajigger, it's underneath that city sewer. I mean, it's smack dab underneath the damn thing.
But it was going off to an angle, so we won't have to screw with the garage, right?
Yeah, where it doesn't look like it's going anywhere near that garage.
Okay. Yeah, because you said it was a 45, and I was like, okay.
And it kind of
It won't
stayed
go
in that
towards the
pattern.
garage.
It's got to be flowing that way.
It's got to go that way to get to the flow.
That's the only thing that would make sense why they lined it up the way they did. So when the plumbers do the plumbing, so when the neighborhood was developed, the developer lays the mains. The city actually doesn't take property of said main until after 1 year.
Really?
So the developer is responsible for all the damn mains in the neighborhood up to that first year before the city will take it over. And then it's up to the city's discretion on what the hell they choose to do with what. But in the state of Kansas, you're responsible for where the line starts to where it ends, including the tap connection. And everything through your yard looks great. Nothing's crushed in or nothing,
On that side.
which, makes me wonder. Now, here's the kicker. Yeah, you bet, bud. If Google Fiber or AT&T has been back there boring,
Google Fiber went through there.
and it's a possibility, because that looks like a clean damn break to me. It doesn't look jagged like tree roots. I don't even see any damn root intrusion
Yeah.
to tell me that. And there's no, what I would deem to be crazy ass trees back there, but do understand that pipe's flimsy as hell. So if Google Fiber did go back there, or AT&T Uverse was being installed, or whatever in the hell, you wouldn't know until they excavated down that to that depth. And Google Fiber is usually anywhere between 3 and 4 foot. But if they don't know the depths of the utilities, they'll usually overshoot it deeper on purpose and stay deep.
Yeah.
And hope and pray to the gods that they miss gas or they miss water or whatever utility could be in the way.
So does yours just tell where it doesn't tell where the other wires are, right?
No.
Okay, so I'd have to have
No.
like the dig
Well,
and
no.
people-
I mean, whatever contractor comes out and does it, they're gonna wind up having to call Dig Safe anyway.
That's what I was
So they'll
wondering.
call 811 and they'll come out and mark utilities. And I bet you there's gonna be
They'll get
shit
right
ton of
on
flags
top of it.
back there because I know that gas main's back there. Because you have your family's gas meter on your side of that little kick out there of that fence. When I hopped over the other side, it's just lined with meters. So I know there's a gas main and they're gonna have to run across it no matter what.
Yeah.
Whether the gas main's on your side of the property or if the gas main's on the other side of the fence line, it doesn't matter. Whoever's excavating, they're gonna run across it, plus whoever else's BS is running back there as well. So
Yeah,
it
'cause
could
I
be
think
Google
Google
Fiber,
Fiber and AT&T Uverse.
cause you've got AT&T, don't you?
Yeah.
Cause I saw your cable, it's barely buried underneath that ground.
Yeah, I don't even think, I think that's an old one that they.
Oh, is that an older
never
one that they
pulled,
didn't
yeah.
care? Gotcha.
Yeah, but they won't rip it out, and it's like, I don't wanna rip it out, 'cause it is something.
Yeah, cause then if it is live, then they'll play that game with you.
Shit.
Well, I mean, if you want to look half-ass at the bright side, is at least it ain't underneath that street or underneath any of your concrete.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if it broke underneath that road, brother, that's yours too.
Yeah.
Then you got to put the roadway back per the engineer's specs. So they could make you repave 10 foot either side of that cut or 40 foot. I've seen it go both ways.
Really?
So, and then you got to buy a bond with the city, and you're knee deep in paperwork and expense before you've even put a saw to that road.
I can't really.
And
say I'm
the
surprised it's been that kind of a year so far.
and the other thing is even if you were to pipe burst it, you can't line it because it's already damn near fully broke. I mean off. The only saving grace, man, would be if they excavate it and, man, you see AT&T shit going through that ditch
Yeah.
or through your line.
I can make them pay for it.
Correct. They would have to reimburse you. I'm trying to think of how else you could go about it. The only other way that I could see you to do it is if you call the permits department in the city of Olathe, give them your address, and tell them what you're running across right now, what you're enduring, and ask them if there's been any boring, say in the last year or two. Because the boring company's got to pull permits with the city to be able to do it.
Okay.
So that might kind of point you in maybe who's the most recent bore. You know what I mean? In that aspect of it. But the only thing is the way it's been here lately is they go prove it. So you get to bear the upfront cost and all that crap. And then if you guys find it, or the excavating contractor finds it, then you got to figure out whose is it? Is it AT&T or is it Google? Because I've seen it where lines were struck 2 years back,
Really?
and then they just didn't start having a problem until as of the late. The ground starts giving,
Yeah,
starts
right after
washing
the
out,
winter
and starts doing all sorts of crazy crap. And there's so much mud and debris in the way, brother, I can't see if there's a cable in there.
You can go into the cutter, just cut the damn cable.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I almost did that, dude, with a gas line.
Ooh, shit.
I almost chewed through it. It was a 2-inch PE gas line, and I'm pot committed when it comes to opening people's lines, dude. I don't give a damn. I'll drill on that sumbitch for 3 hours. And I sat there and kept on it like a beaver on wood, dude. And I come close to chewing through that one.
Damn. That was good fun.
So that's I'm at 75 feet 10 inches. So let's just call it 76. That marker where that breaks at is at 84, say 85. So you're still about 10 foot. See, and what I'm seeing when I walked around the next block and found that manhole, and I stood on it and kind of lined myself up with your all's fence line, it's about 10 foot.
But right where it's
It's about right where, if it holds square and true, which means your neighbor's detached garage is sitting right on top of the son of a bitch.
So if theirs ever goes out there.
Well, if the city main ever goes, and they got to dig it up or some shit,
Oh crap.
then I don't know. I would like to be the fly on the wall when that bubble bursts.
Damn.
So I guess I'd rather, in all honesty, I'd rather you be in that backyard fighting a fence and some landscape than you would wanting to be underneath that
I
road.
agree, yeah, 100%.
Because, dude, your cost would just go ballistic from there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was sitting there thinking, can we cut the pipe and then slide something in there to,
Yeah.
put inside of it?
I just have a weird inkling, man, that maybe they struck that. Because there would be no other reason for you to break the way you broke.
Mhm.
Because there's no damn roots there.
Yeah.
I mean, if it gave me a big old pile of tree roots or something like that, brother, I'd buy it all day long.
But there's no trees on this side.
No.
If we
And-
had a tree 15 feet from where you were standing at,
And
it
then
wasn't a very big tree.
there's where it starts to try to straighten out a little bit. And then boom.
Right into the top.
I mean, it just got its clock cleaned.
He just cleaned it Thursday.
Is that when Vance was out, was Thursday?
Thursday.
You could see all the paper and all that shit still,
Flies in there.
along with the mud. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, I believe it was their Thursday. Because I left Wednesday. But yeah, I think it was their Thursday.
So as of right now, you're going to want to throw all the paper away from, going to the bathroom and
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
my wife was doing that last night.
Yeah, you'll want to start throwing paper away. Water, I mean, I don't know, man, how long you'll last with just straight water.
Can you eat through that?
What's that?
That mud?
No. That's what was getting me hung.
I didn't know
I
if you
yanked
could-
so hard it yanked on my damn shoulder when it tried to get me hung up. But it just, you got to be right at that tap. You got to be right at it. Because the measurement, when I back the camera up to get a good hit in your backyard, and then when I push through, so the spot that I'm looking at right now, if I go all the way into the muck, I'm not going to be able to see anything. It'll be a black screen, but it'll put me, I guarantee it, about right at a flat 85 foot.
Yeah, that's where I figured it was at. 'Cause I remember my buddy doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking it was 85-foot mark where he started hitting shit. But,
And it's
oh,
just,
this is gonna hurt. So what's something like this go? For
if
that?
I were to guess, because you'll probably want to dig, obviously you're going to have to dig in your neighbor's backyard, but then you're going to want to bring new pipe back onto your side of the fence so you don't have to do this shit again. You know what I mean? Bring actual Schedule 40, either ABS or PVC. Olathe will allow both. Versus if you were anywhere else in Johnson County, it's ABS only or SDR 26. Or is it? It's either 26 or 25 that they require. But here in Olathe, you're allowed either or. So you would definitely want to bring good pipe up to your side of the fence. That way, if you guys ever had to do anything later on down the road, at least you're not messing with that fence or your neighbor. But if I were to guess, with that gas main there, and I know there's got to be at least AT&T back there, and if Google Fiber's buried back there too, that's two more utilities. The only thing that's kind of saving your rear end is the depth.
Yeah, it's not that.
It's not, 12 or 13 foot down.
Yeah.
So that's a saving grace. If I were to guess, I'd probably somewhere between 5,000 and 7,000 would be my guess.
I was thinking 5 to 10, so.
That would be my guess, and that's going from that tap all the way back onto your side of the fence line, doing the proper gravel bed, backfilling, and all that jazz. But your neighbor ain't gonna like how that yard's gonna look for a while. Whomever does it. Because even if they pound the hell out of that and tamp it, if they remove any of that dirt and haul it off, he'll still end up with a sinkhole. So he's not going to like that for probably a good 6 months at least, unless he waters it or it gets watered all the time.
He'll be anal about it. He mows that lawn every 3 days.
Does he really?
Yeah,
Regardless?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he can bitch all he wants, But on the other legal side of that coin, you have the right to dig. That's all easement too.
Yeah, he just put that fence in too.
So from that fence out to that main is going to be, they're probably going to give it a 10-foot easement. You know, because of that city sewer. So he's not going to have one way or another that, you know, if they were to say anything, it'd just be a dispute between you and your neighbor as far as, you know, putting the yard back the way you found it.
Yeah, I'm assuming I'll be responsible for the fence going down and putting it back up.
That is correct. Yep.
And I'll see that he's gonna.
Too bad he doesn't have a big ass gate right there, brother, where you could just open that sumbitch up and then just drive that
Just
machine.
tore it down last winter.
Oh, he
I
just
came
did
back-
that last winter when he tore the old one down.
Last summer, because I came home from, we went somewhere for a couple days, came home, the whole fence was gone.
Oh Lord!
He didn't tell us.
But it doesn't look like it's going to be anywhere by that.
Yeah, it's gonna be past that fence.
It's going to be, you know, this side of that detached garage.
So there's no way of opening.
It's open now.
It's open where a little bit of water.
It's open. It'll take water for how long I don't know, but the pipe's wide open
Really?
up to that break. Yeah, or we wouldn't be able to see anything, bud.
I knew that, Mark, but once it gets to that spot, can water get through that?
Yeah, well, your whole line was full for 85 foot of water, and a 4-inch line just drained out.
So there must be some way.
So it's making it down that pipe and around it.
I'm just thinking about the showers.
Because it's all the way open. The only thing that's in my path is that marker at the 85 foot, brother.
Not done this year.
There's
Have it back.
there's two people I would contact. One is Precision Plumbing.
Okay.
The other one is Midwest Water and Sewer. Those are the only two, you know. If it needed lining or pipe bursting, I could give you another name. But we're beyond that now because the pipe's damn near crushed. So you can't line it, so that's out of the question. Pipe bursting, you gotta have two holes, one where you start and one where you're in, so you're still screwed digging in your neighbor's yard. If it wasn't that bad and it was like a minor shift or an offset, you could probably line it, and then you wouldn't have to have dug at all in your neighbor's yard, but that dog's not hunting.
What was the name of that?
Midwest Water and Sewer,
Midwest Water and Sewer.
and the other one, sir, is Precision Plumbing.
I just heard your voice. Water and sewer.
Yep. The guy that I deal with over at Midwest Water and Sewer, his name's Pat. And then the other gentleman at Precision Plumbing is Fred. Yes, sir. And he's with the Midwest Water and Sewer. Fred is with Precision Plumbing. If it was in your side and all that with no easement and crap, I would dig it for you. But when you start, City of Olathe is nuts, man. They're like their own little freaking world out here. And, you know, the inspectors are nice and everything like that, don't get me wrong. But they got some weird-ass rules out here.
Oh, really?
I mean, if it was on your side of the fence, I wouldn't even hesitate, dude.
Just go back there.
I'd just go call 811 and get a machine out here. You're just chain link right there. We could just roll that shit back and get a, you know, medium-sized machine back there and go to town. But since you gotta play with your neighbor now, too.
Yeah, that helps that he's got, I think,
friend. Good times. I mean, I'm looking at the rest of this, man, and the rest of it looks... No tree root intrusion. I'm not seeing any other cracks. Nothing nutty. Your building connection, so your ABS to PVC transition looks good. It's square. Yep, so this definitely goes back inside before it leaves. It's got to go into your laundry room, catch that mess before it leaves outside. So the reason why the first goofy turns, so it goes down, and then it 90s, and then it 90s again, and then you got to hit a Y and make it through that. That's why it fights those guys.
Really?
Yep. That's why it fights them when they do it.
I knew the first 5-10 feet they always had problems getting it in there.
Yes,
They
sir.
always went in there, but
Yep.